Hello everyone, I'm Billy. Today is the 32nd day of making videos to LGB Daily. So I guess today I'm using English to make the video, so I guess it will be kinda a challenge for me because now I'm trying to explain some philosophy terms or some answering some philosophical questions like the meaning of life, or why are we going to search for the meaning, like what is the meaning of meaning, right? So today actually I'm thinking again, so for these few months I'm already keep thinking, but at the same time when I'm thinking, I'm always having some new terms and ideas. So of course, I've read several books, like those from Alfred Adler, psychologist from I don't know how to say the place, but um, also some other philosophy instead of psychology, like Albert Camus and Viktor Frankl, and just like different kind of philosophers and psychologists. So I guess these few weeks I'm thinking I didn't have a conclusion in that, but at least for today I'm seemingly having some progress that is different from before. So I'm trying to explain these terms and my own ideas in this video. So first of all, for the meaning of meaning. So of course in explaining in psychology, it is saying that a meaning uh, for who those have a why to live can bear any sufferings in their life. So that's from Nietzsche, as a philosopher, and the reason is that when you know your meaning of life, like you can actually suffer anything. Like if I am saying that I have a goal, I want to have a girlfriend, I want to have my job, I want to have healthy body, then no matter what problem you're facing, exercising every day and trying to find a good job, maybe learning English, learning Putonghua, learning all different kinds of languages and computer skills, and even improve my own values, and maybe the what do you call it, the power of attraction, and to seek for more chances to meet different ladies and girls, then you're feeling quite a meaning, right? When at the time you won't ask for meaning of life because that's your meaning, right? Then you can actually suffer from many different kind of sufferings, maybe um, uh, exercising is quite a pain for everyone. Every day you may have to wake up early. You may have to after lunch when you're feeling sleepy, you have to go to the gymnastics and do some exercises till you're really really tired and you can't sleep, right? And maybe when you're trying to learn some computer skills, some really complicated terms, then actually you're feeling quite annoying, and sometimes your brain will be overloading, right? You cannot learn that much things in a second, in a short time, right? You have to learn it every day for maybe a few years of sufferings until you can eventually achieve your goals, right? So in this way, when we have a meaning for sufferings, when we can say about, oh, why am I going to do this, then you can actually do everything. So this is the meaning of life, of course, and of course from Viktor Frankl, a psychologist. He's actually explained this term in even in a psychological therapy, saying that he's trying to tell others how their life means to others. Like for example, there's one of the cases saying that an old man has lost his wife because his wife is died in some accidents. Then Viktor Frankl says that how do your wife thinks if you're going to die first? Then he explains that of course, then she will also feel quite painful, feel quite sad, right? And then Viktor Frankl tells him, yes, so now you're the one being sad and you're saving her from this sadness, extreme sadness. Like she died first, so she do not need to suffer like you, right? Your meaning of life, your meaning of suffering is to eliminate her sufferings, like you suffer for her, right? Then that man just said nothing. Maybe said thank you, and he leaves Viktor Frankl with such a thankful manner. So I want to say that yes, it's quite useful and it's important for us to find the meaning of life. But what happens when an existential crisis comes out? Like existential crisis, everyone knows, it is saying that, oh, why are we here? Where am I from? Where am I going to? Human life is just a small creatures, small being in the whole universe. Is meaningless and is having no values, right? This is always connected with nihilism, saying that there isn't any highest value in the universe. So which means that, like Nietzsche says that from nihilism, he explains that it is because maybe before everyone trusts God and everyone thinks that God is the highest good, right? So everyone have the meaning says, oh, my life is to serve the God, right? And the God is the highest value stuff and also a quite meaningful thing. Like God is trying to help us and help to maintain the universe, and God is a really, really great thing. So that when we are trying to serve the God, I'm feeling quite meaningful, right? Then you won't ask for the meaning. You just live happily, right? But when Nick says that God is dead, so what this means, like, is that it's not meaning that God is necessarily not exist, but with the improvement in scientific technologies, not much people trust the existence of God, and it is the God making everything in the world, but instead it's just some scientific stuff. It's just it's just because of atoms, right? It's not because of any supernatural stuff. It's just from atoms. Even our consciousness, maybe just from atoms, right? So when we're thinking like that, the meaning of life before is not working on us anymore. We don't trust it. We don't believe it, right? So it means that we're always trying to trust the highest good, the highest value in the universe, but it's not exist anymore. We don't maybe we trust it, but it cannot be exist anymore. And you know that your effort paid into this meaning will forever become nothing. That means the elimination of highest value. So this makes everyone thinks that, oh, I'm not serving the God, then what is our life meaning for, right? So this is the cause of saying that I will feel some sort of emptiness and nothingness in the universe. So when we're thinking like that, then how should we save ourselves from nihilism? Is that we have to know that how we ask this question is because it's not because we don't know everything. Maybe we're still working, we're still studying, right? We're still just doing the same stuff. But when we're asking these questions, like some existential crisis among the middle-aged groups, then actually what they're referring is that they know, but it's not enough to explain why he's doing this suffering. Like for example, maybe he's like having a boring work every day, just from 9 o'clock, wake up and then work till 5 o'clock, and he's feeling like exhausted, and later on he have to like serve his child, maybe cook rice, and then later on he just have a little free time. Then he is asking, oh, what am I doing for, right? So it's not because he of course knows, right? His work is for earning money. His life is to he back home is to maybe help his child, or maybe like teach his child, or doing some responsibilities for an adult. So he knows everything. But why he's feeling a lack of meaning is that this kind of reasons does not enough to serve for his values. Like for example, his values maybe he wants to have a girlfriend, but at the same time, when he's seeing that his routine is nothing about it, like the highest value is having a girlfriend, and he says that he thinks that his living, maybe reading books, learning stuff, is nothing about having a girlfriend. He don't have a chance to meet any girls, right? The highest value cannot be happening, right? Then he will give up. He says that, oh, what is the point of doing so if I don't have a girlfriend? Like, it's the highest good, it's the most meaningful stuff in my life, right? So the reason is not because no reason, but the reason does not serve for your values system. So what you have to do is that predict your value system again. Like give up this, saying that the highest value is having a girlfriend. It's not. It's not only about it. It's more than that. So this is the diversity of your life. Like maybe if you have the habits of skating, roller skating, and then you have table tennis, you like football, soccer, basketball, and then you have a girlfriend, you have your own habits and your romantic relationships, and of course your jobs. Your job is more about the diversity and is favor yourself. Then you will know that, yeah, even I lose one of the stuff, like maybe I lose my job, I lose my girlfriend, it's still the same, right? The highest value is not on one thing, but everything is average, right? So when you're thinking about it, you reevaluate everything, your values, then you actually change your mindset on how you look at things. And another thing is that actually is about how you see the stuff in the world. Like for a nihilist, maybe when he's observing the world, he thinks that everything is nothingless, is useless, is having no meanings. Like oh, the earth is just we're just going to eliminate, being destroyed, and maybe thinking the sun will become a red giant and we'll all die, and maybe the universe will still die after maybe billion of years. So when he's thinking of that, so then when this is becoming his values, so he thinks that, oh yes, everything is meaningless. So he was just feeling everything he did before is just useless. It's just waiting for die, right? So, but for some people, not nihilists, non-nihilists, or anti-nihilists, or existentialists, when he's thinking that, oh yeah, I have a meaning of life. My meaning of life is to try different things in the earth and to enjoy and experience the earth. Or maybe if he's thinking like, now my stage is good, I'm really happy, I'm having a great job, I'm having a great family, then what he thinks is that everything related to his job and family is his meaning, is having meanings, and is valuable, right? So it's not about what is happening, and it's not always about cause and effects. Like sometimes absurdity in your life will make you feel like, oh, what why is it happening? Like suddenly a disaster caused you to lose everything. Then you'll think that, oh, why is it happening? Like it's destroying everything, right? But actually, human is just because of this kind of cases, we know that human life is absurdity, right? Absolute absurdity. You cannot predict the future because of this kind of like it's not everything about cause and effects, right? So when you're saying about your story about your whole life, then it's always just on how you see your life, which means that yes, you're happening for yes, you lived for 19 years, but how you explain your 19 years all depends on how you feel towards the world, how you believe, how your value system. Like for example, if now I'm a nihilist, then I would say that, oh yeah, I've worked, I have studied in university, but it's all meaningless. That's all my explanation, right? But if now I feel just, oh yeah, my meaning of life is, yeah, I have lost the meaning of life. My meaning of life now, I have a great family, I have my great habits, like my great partner, everything. Then I would think that, oh yes, from the 2 years ago, I'm trying to read some books about romantic relationships, and I'm learning some techniques from it. And the second thing is that from 4 years ago, I'm trying to learn some kind of different study materials and to prepare for my job, and it's finally succeed. Of course, there are some problems in between, but at the same time, it teaches me a new lesson. So when I'm trying to explain like this, it's actually because of now I think that my stage is good. So there's two kind of necessities for me to do that. First is my belief system. I believe it is good. If I don't believe it's good, then I will just like a nihilist, saying that everything is useless, right? The second thing is that it's totally subjective. Like even now you have nothing, but you feel joy, then everything is nothing up for you, right? Like some poetics, Chinese poetics came to the mountain and feels that, oh, I'm now connected with the universe. Then everything I've suffered, every kind of unlucky experience are all nothing. Now I'm connected with the universe. This is my meaning of life. Then it's nothing about how many years you have experienced. It's just about this moment. You're explaining this moment and feeling the meaning of life. You can explain this with a joyful and happy manner. Then yes, you will be happy. You're having the meaning of life, right? So yeah, that's everything I want to say. So if you're a nihilist, actually you cannot be completely nihilist. Nihilist means that you have no value system. If you have no value system, you don't think that food is valuable, right? You'll only be pushed to food because you're really, really hungry, and if you don't eat anything, you'll die. But that's already not completely nihilist. Nihilist should be already died because he don't think that food is valuable. So he already died. Like he don't have food to eat, right? He don't have water to drink, right? So actually, like even people feeling that the lack of meaning of life is not completely nihilist. They're just thinking that, oh yeah, now it's in a suffering and I don't know what am I doing. But I will still eat, I will still have a lifestyle to prevent myself. If later on I have hope, then maybe my life will change. Yeah. So the last thing is that we are always trying to think of outside. Like now I'm unhappy because I don't have a wife, I don't have an aeroplane, I don't have the meaning, I don't have anything. But actually, when you seek for everything in the universe possible, then you still feel that, oh, what's the meaning of doing this? You still feel meaningless, right? So actually, it's just the same case as living in this moment. When anxiety tells you that, oh, 40 years, it will be totally same. then what you have to do is living in this moment and change it. So it's same when like happiness, let's say. So if you're feeling unhappy, you're not trying to think that what can I do to be happy, but living in this moment and find anything that can make you happy, right? So it's everything the same. So when you're thinking that now you're a lack of meaning and you don't know what are you doing, you don't know what you are seeking for, then no matter what others gave you, it's meaningless. What you have to do is find your happiness for yourself. Know what you want, then means seek for some intrinsic values. Then you have happiness and joy. So last thing is that when you're thinking of the universe, you're thinking that the universe just suddenly borns you, then you're just living your life out in some pains. Your whole life is painful. But actually, when you're thinking that, it's not. So it's about how you seize the world. So first of all, I've already explained, if you think is now is good, then everything is good, right? Your current determines how your past looks like. Okay, this is the first thing. But what I mean is that sometimes we're defining subjective and objective, right? Like sometimes we think that objective means something that is already exists in nature. Like for example, pen and pencil, like it exists in nature, right? It's not about myself. But subjective means some kind of subjective views, like how I see the world, how I think the pencil looks like. It's completely subjective and differs from different people, right? So it means that when there's no people in the world, it's not about subjective and not objective, but it's nothing, no views.